I'm so hard, I need a bando. In Diego in the sando. Walk around in Gucci sandals. G-Wagon, I pull up like skirt. And I put that Louis V on my shirt. They can down me cause I know my worth. Whole posse ain't even gotta work.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do a video of my first son's birth experience, right?
Well, the story of Azriel, beginning.
Yeah, like when my contractions started and then what happened from there, right?
Yeah. I mean,
I did say what I remember first.
I don't even remember her having too much contraction. I remember her saying she had to go pee and then she went to the bathroom and then some of her water was peed out. So you continue what you thought.
So, around 5 or 6, I think it was around 5 in the morning, my contraction started. We were
4:20.
We were in 2014, and my Nana was alive, so we were at her house, Bates Street. Me and Eric were sleeping in the twin-size bed, I think it was.
It wasn't even a freaking twin.
It was a small bed.
It was like a child bed. Like, we barely had any room to lay next to each other.
But then I just had these really bad contractions. I didn't know what it was because they hurt so bad.
Yeah, she thought she had to go poop.
Yeah, or something like that.
So she went to the bathroom.
Yeah, after like a few minutes of being in like bad pain. So then when I went to the bathroom, something like happened. I think what broke? My water.
Yeah, your water broke in
My
the
water
toilet.
broke a little bit, so.
And then she peed it out.
So then my contractions started hurting worse. And then it was going into like 6 in the morning. And then 7 in the morning, we waited for his mom to get to the house.
Yeah.
I was still trying to pack for Boston because we had nothing packed. So then I was just doing random stuff.
Yeah, we didn't even care. I mean, like, with all the kids, with every boy that we have, the first two, we never had any bag ready for the hospital.
I was in so much pain.
Me and Branda finally, after 2 times of not being prepared for their child, we finally had a bag ready for the hospital. So whenever she went to labor or what day we were to go, we had the bag ready to go so that we have it all together so we don't have to rush things to, do all that type of stuff.
So I was laying on the couch in pain a little while until his mom got there. I was still in pain. My auntie Tony was worried about me. She didn't want me driving all the way to Boston because I was too far. But my son needed to be born there. We had to drive 3 hours away, and I was in pain so bad.
Because there was a big chance of him being a blue baby or dying when he first was born.
Yeah.
So definitely didn't want any of that to happen. So we wanted to make sure he had the right care for him. It has nothing to do with where you're going to be and how bad it is for her. Because at this point, she wasn't thinking about herself.
I just wanted him out.
She just wanted him out, and she wanted what was best for him, not for herself, because she wasn't being selfish. Some people and family members can be very selfish and just think about themselves. But it's not about themselves, it's about the kids. Just saying. Are you going to continue the story now?
I was crying in pain, I think.
Yeah, so basically
3 hours away.
She probably doesn't remember this, but 3 hours away, and like the whole time she was saying she wanted to get out. She didn't care if she's gonna walk there faster than the car, which makes no sense.
Contraction hurt so bad.
And then she said she was just gonna get out because the traffic was at a standstill. Because in Boston it goes from like a 4 or 5 lane into a 2 lane. So there's tons of congestion there. We were in traffic for a long time. But once we got there, she was pushing and...
they pushed me in a wheelchair, I remember.
Yeah, by the time we got there, she was already dilated enough to start pushing. And doing the practice things. And then they were checking the circumference and the head. And you can even feel Azriel's head through her vagina, which I did touch at one time and I thought it was weird. But her area was so narrowed after they twisted it like an hourglass, turning Azriel's head. So that now, ever since that point, she wasn't able to have any kids by vaginal birth. But she would try.
I was pushing for 4 hours, and then they told me I needed a
Yeah, it was 4 hours,
C-section.
and then they're like, all right, C-section. And me and her were scared, but I knew what
I cried.
I knew what they were doing, so I had faith in that. So I let them get that done, and I was there every step of the way with her, holding her hand. I wouldn't even let her sleep because I thought like if she closed her eyes, she would never wake up or she would die. Because I was scared.
I don't remember.
Because I don't want to have my son be a blue-born baby or die, and then she dies as well, and then I have nobody. So I was always scared about that.
I don't really remember my C-section part for Azriel.
I remember hearing his first crying.
I
when he
know
came
all my
out.
kids cried.
I remember every single one of them, and they were all different. They're all the same. Oh, not a crying baby's not a crying baby. Every baby has their own certain sound and cry.
He was 6 pounds too.
Yeah, like all of them had a different cry, and I remember every single one of them. And I still remember the noise and everything around me at that point in time.
I believe he was born close to 8 p.m.
Yeah. And then it sucked because Brandon wasn't allowed to see him for like almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't
Because
remember what
she was
going
stuck.
I needed blood
She was at
transfusion.
the Boston Brigham and Women's, right? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was stuck there
I was on one
because
side.
And
then Azriel was on the other side.
yeah, he was in the children's hospital. You were in the Brigham Women's, whatever they call it. The reason why you were stuck there is because you have to poop.
And I had the blood transfusion.
Yeah, she had two blood transfusions. The first one she reacted to, so they gave her a second one, and it was good. But she also didn't poop for a very long time. So they were really worried about it. They thought that she was going to go septic and maybe need to have like some type of surgery done to release the fecal matter and all that stuff that was in her body.
I remember when I did go poop though, I left it in the toilet, and I got to go see my son. I think that night.
Yeah, she went and pooped, told the nurse, and then like, all right, you can go see him. And then I grabbed the wheelchair, and we legit just went right on that very second.
I remember he was pushing me, and my stomach was hurting because of the pain of how the bumpy sidewalks were. That hurt.
Yeah.
And then when I first held Azriel, I cried.
Yeah, when she first saw him,
Really
she was
bad.
crying. Like she saw him when he first came out because I held him and showed her, and that was it. She didn't see him for almost 2 weeks after that. So you can imagine how stressful and heartbroken that made her feel, and also, you know, she still, even though that happened a long time ago, it still bothers her to this day, and that would bother me as well. But I was always by Azriel's side as much as they can, because she wanted me, and then I wanted to be with him, and then I wanted to be with her. So I was always stuck between going back and forth, and then she was mad at me for being able to see him. But then she wanted me to see him because he's our son. So it was like, oh my gosh. I didn't know what to think.
So then, that's really how it went. That's how we remember it. It's 2014.
Yeah, so it was like a very, very long time stuck in the hospital. Over a year.
He got to come home for almost 2 weeks, but then...
He was home for a week and a half.
Yeah, almost 2 weeks. And then...
Yeah. And then we were getting
problems.
sick. We were getting sick and worried about him because he was kind of wheezing a little bit. So we didn't want to take any chances.
And then we brought him in, and then they said he had to go, and then that's when he was stuck in the hospital for a year. And he was born with a heart condition. And I needed ultrasounds like every week once I knew he had a heart condition. Yeah. I found out when I was pregnant, the second month being pregnant, I think.
No.
It was a little before my second trimester.
I think it was right. I think maybe a couple days from before your second trimester started. Believe so. It's so hard to remember so much things that would happen back in the day because we have 3 kids, so we have 3 different experiences that we remember. So it's like, you know. But Azriels is definitely the most craziest one.
And he had a heart surgery first month he was born. He was born a month old. He had his first heart surgery.
Yeah, it sucked, but we were there for him the whole step of the way, and it just, you know, it was sucky that, you know, the way it happened to him, because it's like, no, that just makes no sense how they have to go through so much at such a young age, because he's been through more than what most adults go through in their whole life. He's already had 6 surgeries, and not all of them were heart surgeries, but he has had 6 surgeries altogether. He's had the G-tube injection thing where they basically
a feeding tube.
Yeah, so now he has to eat through a tube on his backpack pump. He's had 3 catheterizations, 2 open heart surgeries, and he's had another surgery, but I don't remember exactly what it's called. I can't think of what it's called. But also, we were going to get him circumcised, but they wouldn't do that with him being sedated. They want to just do all the stuff they have to do with him for his heart.
He already went.
They didn't want to have him have too much stress on his heart, so they said, wait until he gets older, which we don't know when we're going to do that, or if we're still going to do that. I mean, we might just let him make that choice himself, and then we'll pay for it if he wants it done. Because I think it's just a matter of, you know, wanting him to get sedated and then get that done when he should be getting other things done, you know. But in all costs of thing, it's like, I think it should be his decision when he gets older. I know it's gonna probably hurt more because when you're young you forget things, but like I said, we're gonna let it be his choice. We had Aries get it done because Aries didn't have a heart condition, so we could make that simple decision. But I don't know.
I didn't make that decision. That decision was his and his mom.
No, it was not my mom's decision. I had
You
that
and
decision.
your mom wanted that done. I didn't say anything.
No, I wanted it done no matter what.
Okay.
I didn't care if my mom wanted it done or not. I like how my thing looks, and I don't want, you know, to look like an egg roll, because that's what it looks like.
So basically, you're making fun of Azriel's penis.
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what girls say. Because when I went to school, all the girls would always make fun of people who had no circumcision. So I just didn't want him to go through that too. I mean, some girls like that. Some girls only do people with those. Which, this is just weird. This is supposed to be about Ezra, not about sex.
Oh. I'm gonna try to think what else I try to remember. Oh, during my C-section, I remember they needed to put the mask on me.
Yeah, she took it off. She didn't want it on. She kept taking it off, and then they basically told her she had to keep it on, and then they tightened it around her head so she couldn't take it off.
And I was starting to feel sleepy, so I was having people talk to me.
Yeah, I was talking to her the whole time.
I didn't
Holding
know.
her hand and just showing her that she can do it, because she can. And she did it 3 times, and we had 3 kids. And there's one of them.
But if we think of any more, we'll do another video. But I think this is about wraps up Azriels. Maybe one other video will be.
Next video will see me with no hair because I gotta shave this.
Next video we can do a video with talking about his heart condition and what he has or something, and why he has a G-tube or something. I don't know. But I just wanted to do a birth experience and talk about what we went through with my son. We can talk more about what we went through if you want in another video, but this was just his birth experience. Right?
Yep. Solid boy, man.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.